Ash Trojans with the 5 seed and select Division One, and we're here with the head coach of the Trojans, Thomas Bachman. And coach, got that 5 seed. You know, you got another first round bye in this edition of this postseason as well. Just catch us up on your team through 10 weeks and kind of how you spent the bye week to prepare for this regional round.
Yeah, we're fortunate to get to buy. We needed it. Been kind of beat up this year. It's been a little bit of a challenge just with, just part of the game. We needed the bye week to try and get some guys to heal up, and we kind of used it as that way. We used it as a week to freshen up and you know try and get ready. We had a really good one yesterday. Kind of get after each other, some live sessions with team, and just got a really challenging game here in front of us. Brother Martin is very solid, very competitive, battle tested coming out of the Catholic League. Just like us, been a lot of tight ball games, tough ball games that you've had to really play for 4 quarters to give yourself a shot to win. So needed the bye week, that's for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned Catholic League. Your last 2 playoff games last season were against teams from that district, 9-5A, with Curtis and then Carr in the finals, and then you'll pick right up with that district here in the playoffs. Of course, that's a lot of the talk is District 2-5A, and District 9-5A is kind of the top districts in the state. How do you feel that y'all's brand matches up with Brother Martin in particular?
I think there's a lot of similarities in the brands of football that that you try and play solid on defense, and there's ball control and take care of the football. So I feel like there's some complementary football between what we both like to try and do. Look, I just got a ton of respect for them. I mean, that's all I can tell you is, we know we got our work cut out for us. We're happy to be playing at home. Glad that we get to play at home. Played them in 23 in this round, this second round, and just got a lot of respect for them. We're preparing as hard as we can because we know what we're up against.
Yeah, and speaking of preparation, I mean, you mentioned a competitive bye week to try to keep players engaged and keep coaches sharp. Anything particular with that you try to prepare during the bye week, or also any particular game on the schedule this past season that you look at and say, hey, look, we can use that film to prepare for the Crusaders?
Structurally, I think there's, what we go against in our defense, there's some similarities with how they like to line up from a front, defensively, personnel groupings. We're both getting in a lot of personnel groupings. So, I feel like ourselves really, is what's prepared us. I mean, just the competition of the schedule gets you prepared. You see a lot of stuff, with the people that we play, and it just gets your kids really prepared. But as far as the bye week, I mean, we really tried to use it to get healthy, just get some guys freshened up that were, banged up. Several of them missed the Neville game there in week 10, and we hope to get, as many of them back for this Friday night as we can. And, so we've done, last year we used it a little bit different than we used it this year. This year it was really, we didn't do a whole lot of, contact, and we just tried to let these kids get healthy so that we can try and make this playoff push.
Opposing teams against both Trojans and Crusaders are scoring under 20 points a game. Your offense comes into this round averaging over 42 points a game. Brother Martin slightly under 25. So I'm assuming it's a similar approach for y'all at home. Had your lowest point total on the road in week 10 against Neville, but I assume it's just back to what's worked for y'all this season when y'all kick it off this Friday.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's play solid football, as far as, I think we had 14 penalties in week 10. You can't commit 14 penalties and give yourself a very good opportunity to beat really quality teams. So, I mean, there'll be wrinkles. Everybody's trying to find an advantage where they can, and you're scheming, and you're looking for where you can, gain a advantage in every single phase, every single team that's going to take the field. But for the most part, I mean, you're going to be who you are, this time of year. It's not like you're going to install new schemes. You got to line up. You got to play good football. blocking and tackling, defeating blocks on defense, get the ball on the ground, and limit explosives. You can't give up a bunch of explosives. That's kind of been the one thing that I would say, has been, so we've stressed to the defenses, like we play really good defense, but then we just allow a couple of explosives here, and it hurts us. And, so that'll be huge. Of course, they got one of the most explosive players in the state, and that number 3, that receiver, and they're using him in a lot of different ways. He's in the backfield, he's in the slot, he's out wide. They're really creative with the ways that they move him around. So it gives you a lot to try and keep your eyes on, because, when he touches the football, he can certainly score.
And of course, this game will be on Full 46 Sports, but I've been in Stoker Stadium here this fall, and it's been a huge home environment. So I'm sure having this regional round in the friendly confines will be good, not only for you and your roster, but for the fans as well.
Yeah, we're hoping that we get a great turnout here, and that our community does what it's done for us for so long. Turns out, brings energy, something that our boys can feed off of. We're looking for a great night. Now, I'm really anxious to, hopefully I get a chance to peek up there and just kind of see what capacity looks like, see if we can fill this thing up. But, we love playing at home. We love playing in front of our people, and we want to represent them well.
Catholic League and District 2-5A will match up in the second round of the playoffs. The 12th-seeded Crusaders coming to town against the 5-seeded Ash Trojans. Coach Bachman, we thank you for your time this morning previewing this game with us, and hopefully we're talking to you next week talking about the quarterfinals.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to talking again. I hope that's certainly the case.
Yes, sir. Go Trojans. Thank you, Coach.
Buddy, appreciate you.